Let's see. Hey, y'all. Oh my gosh. Wait, coffee.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm so excited. We're going to test some things out, y'all. So, can you hear us? For those of you that are here, welcome. We're just going to do this before we do our official. Hey, we're live. Can you hear us? Testing 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do a mic test. Wait. Can I do a mic test? Oh no, that says mute. I don't want to mute. I'll hang out. Got my coffee ready. Wait, let's see. I'm gonna see. I wonder if I can. Honey, if you can hear me, let me know,
Give us a
please.
thumbs up
Give
or
us a
something.
thumbs up or something. Yep, I can hear. I can hear you. Yay! All right.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear
Can you
Timmy?
hear me? Because I'm the mumbler, right? People can't hear me.
No, we got these little fancy mic things, and I said this is something that we need to fix. Yep, everybody can hear you. Oh, I'm so happy, y'all. I've missed this. Haven't if you've joined us before and you missed this, let me know. I just saw in our Mighty Network group how many people said, "Oh, I miss your coffee chats." And I don't know. I don't want to just start chatting, but I do want to be on time. So what time is it? Oh, it's 8:01. We're ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
Already.
Let's get started.
Should we have a sign-on thing going?
Here we go.
We've been up a little bit having coffee, y'all, trying to figure out this. We got little Mikey things. We have a lighty thing.
Yeah.
It's quite the production because it's too dark in here this morning. Don't even start with me, dog. So, good morning and welcome to our live coffee chat. We're going to start these back up with Tim and Amber. Who are you?
Yeah, I'm Tim, and
I'm Amber.
I'm the other half.
He's my whole. Don't
Well,
say half. He's my whole.
yeah.
And we are part of the My Homestead Life Bradshaw family, where we live here in the mountains of East Tennessee on 47 acres. We live off grid with our family, which has changed a little bit since the last time we talked. I don't think we've had coffee conversation for almost a year.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
We haven't stopped having coffee though, so don't get me wrong. We haven't stopped having coffee.
Yeah,
But
I think a lot's changed.
we'll get into that in a
Yeah, we'll
minute.
get into that.
This is how y'all, this is a God thing. If he wants us to go, we'll have coffee every Saturday at 8 a.m. If life happens, that's going to be okay too, because we'll discuss that in a little bit. But we do want a little tiny bit of structure. Other than that, it's whatever God puts on our heart or your heart to talk about it. Good morning. And that's just how it's going to go. There's no script, there's no inside the box thinking, and it's just whatever God puts on our heart. But they say that imitation is the best form of flattery. And there's one little, I don't get on social media much. I know you guys probably think I'm on here all the time. I get on it for my job, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. However, there's one little, you know how when you're on Facebook and they have all these little video, what do they call them? Reels?
Real.
I'm trying to do some more of them because that's supposed to be a thing. They drive me bonkers, to be honest. But there's one that I watch and she videos her life all day. I don't know how she does it because I think her husband works all day. So I haven't figured that out. I have not figured out how to record this life and do this life at the same time without hiring a crew. But one of the things that she does is she goes, and now a word from our sponsor. And so I'm like, oh, I got to hear a commercial. Because, you know, some of those, you've watched enough of those YouTube videos where you hear they do that little commercial ad.
I don't watch YouTube videos.
He watches his guitar videos on YouTube. Don't lie to the people first thing in the morning. And it's a sponsored post. So I rolled my eyes. And then she said scripture. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And I love it. And it's the sponsor, God sponsoring her post. So I'm taking it because imitation is the best form of flattery, right? So we're going to start out with a word from our sponsor today, if you don't mind. And if you do mind, you can plug your ears for about 30 seconds.
No, you can listen to this. This is good. Well, let's read Out of Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 and 25. And let us consider one another in the order to stir up love and good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as is the manner of some, but exhorting one another, and so much more as you see the day approaching.
Amen.
So that means we need to gather.
Together,
Yeah.
not forsake assembling.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing right now. We're assembling with like-minded people, because the other one that we were looking at the Hebrew definition and the translations of some of the words this morning together for our devotional time. And one of the things is exhorting one another, encouraging one another, lifting one another up. I absolutely love that. And that's what we're doing here. And so anyhow, thanks for being here and joining us for coffee this morning.
That's definitely what God wants us to do. He wants us to encourage each other and
Pray for each other.
pray for each other. Prayer is power. So
That's right.
yeah.
So let's do a little catch up for the last, I don't know, year. So much has changed. Who are we? We're Tim and Amber with My Homestead Life. We moved here from the city off grid in the mountains of East Tennessee, where we live with our growing family, in the sense there's no babies yet. But it's the dynamic of our property has changed a little bit. And, if you don't know, my mother moved here from South Carolina the moment that Gavin, our son, got married. So it started out with me and you, our son, our daughter Morgan, and little bit Lyndon, who's not so little anymore.
Yeah.
That was 8 years ago, April Fool's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see, Gavin met a woman. Her name is Ashlyn. Then they got married in 2022, November 3rd, 2022. The week they got married, or the week after, my mother moved here from South Carolina and moved in the little cabin that we stayed in when we were building this house. And then Gavin stayed in it while we were building his and Ashlyn's house. And that house, the foundation was on Homestead Rescue. We've never seen that episode, but it's on there somewhere. I can't remember what season. I think it's 9, the last episode of season 9 or something like that. But anyhow, and then Gavin and Timmy finished their main dwelling. And then my mom moved in the cabin and she lived here for 3 years.
Yeah.
But before Gavin got married, Morgan moved out and moved to the city, in city Knoxville. And then she left the homestead. And then COVID hit and all that kind of good stuff, good stuff, good times. And then recently, last August, September, my mother moved into off-grid life is tough, y'all. It's definitely tough for the aging. This is not a place to live if you have disabilities.
Yes.
If you can't get around, if you can't walk on if you have to have steady ground, it's tough. It's hard. It's it's hard for the young.
Yeah, especially when you have to depend on someone else. It's that person getting up in age, and it's especially when you haul water and the firewood in the winter. It gets pretty rough.
Hey Anna, how are you, honey? From Lake Superior. Oh my goodness. Um, as I saw her say Lake Superior, I grew up in Michigan and we went to Lake Superior. That lake was always stinking cold. I don't care what time of the year it was, that lake was always cold. But welcome. Thanks for joining us. They do. So anyhow, my mom moved into an independent senior living facility in town. And right about that time, our daughter Morgan contacted us after being gone for almost 5 years.
Yeah.
Saying that she wanted to move back to the homestead. And of course, we accepted her with open arms. We love having her here. And then she fixed up the cabin and moved into it. So now we have Morgan in the cabin, us in our home with Lyndon, who's 14 now. Can y'all believe it?
Mm-hmm.
If you guys see my recent pictures that I posted, she had junior prom this year. She looks like she's a grown woman. It
Yeah.
just about killed me. And I'm gonna move this just a little bit because the light looks funny. But and then Gavin and his wife Ashlyn, they have an off-grid home here too. They're a tenth of a mile up our mountain, and that's what you and Morgan have been doing lately. You guys have been
Yeah, we've been building an addition. We just recently got the roof put on and got the tin on it, got it sealed up. So let it rain.
that reminds me of that song, I'll Build a Boat by Colton
Yeah,
Dixon. If y'all haven't heard that, it's been out for a skinny minute, but he's a really good young Christian artist.
yeah.
It's called Build a Boat. I think that's what it's called. You know, I'm bad with words. Is that what it's called? Build a boat.
No, I'll build a boat out in the middle of the desert.
So let it rain.
Let it rain.
Love it because you're prepared, not scared.
Yeah,
Y'all remember when
that's
we used to say
that's
that?
faith there.
So anyhow, that's kind of the gist. That's where we're at. I'm working all of my jobs that I work. I work online, managing. I get to work from home. Very, very blessed that I get to work from home. But that also means I'm in front of the computer for about 14 hours a day, which is tough on my old body. So it makes me swell up.
But I will say it's nice having Morgan here. She's definitely taken the load off of me. You know, we work together and we work good, and we kind of think the same. So I mean,
It's scary. It's
as
scary,
crazy
y'all.
as it sounds, you know,
It's scary.
it works, and
And we're
I'm
blessed.
good with it. Yeah,
But it was a rocky road between those. Kids and yourself when you were a teen, you get to that age that my parents are stupid. I know everything. Everything that they've instilled in me, I forgot, and I'm just gonna go do my own thing. I'm
oh
not
yeah,
saying Morgan did that in those steps, but yeah, she did her own thing, which is good. We wanted that. It was sad, it hurt, and we missed her terribly, but we prayed for her every single day, and we just loved her where she was. And eventually, she said, "Hey, okay, I'm tapping out. I don't
yeah,
like this. I don't like the path that I'm on. And God's calling me back, and I want to be home." And I'm happy that we were have a place for her to call home.
yeah. I think you know, in situations like that, you might miss the time, you know, that you could have had together. But you know, being reunited, you start off on a new foot, and you've put a lot behind you, and cleared a lot of things up, and you're just able to press forward, and you know, it's really good.
We all needed that.
Yeah,
She needed to grow. We needed to focus on Linden, and it's really good now.
yeah,
It is,
it
and I
is.
love it. And she's going to seminary school,
Yeah,
and she's seeking God
that's
daily,
awesome there.
and I couldn't ask for more.
Mm.
So it's just that part of our life is just amazing.
Sometimes you just got to allow God to work in your life and change things, and then you know,
Yep. Well,
that's
we've
good.
made some changes here too. And so y'all, I've been working on something, and I guess we'll go ahead and roll into this. The dog keeps wanting to go back outside. Uh, I saw write for a living. If any of y'all don't know that, well, for a living, I still kind of work online for a living, really. And I do social media management for other homestead bloggers, garden bloggers, uh, real estate agent, someone who just released a book on being a hot air balloon pilot, kind of do it all. Just whatever the job, whatever pays the bills, that's where I'm at. But for us with my homestead life, I've been writing about homesteading and prepping and how-tos and stuff for almost 2 decades now. I started before Lyndon was born, and she'll be 15 this year. And the entire time, I know this is where my heart is to get back to. That's why we moved here. God was calling us to get out of the city. He doesn't, and that's not everybody's calling, but it was ours. And to get back to, I can't say get back to our roots because neither of our roots are in this lifestyle.
No,
So it's basically get back to nature. And so we went. We were obedient. Did we know how to do it? Nope. Are we still trying to figure it out? Yep. Or do we make a lot of stuff up as we go? Heck yeah.
I think God just wanted us to see all all the things that He had available for us. And when we made that move, slowly this stuff started happening. Whether it's our faith or just growing in Christ and bringing the family back together. It all just it all works out in the end.
Well, and this is the funny thing about your walk with God, or your life. You have His will, His divine perfect will for you, and then you have permissive will. It's the will that He lets you do when you don't want to listen to Him. And that's kind of like with your parents and your kids. You think you have the best intentions for your children and what
Yeah.
they should do and who should they hang out with and who they should date or marry or where they should live and the type of job they should have. Same thing with our Father with us. And we've lived our permissive will for a very long time, and we
Hmm.
still do from time to time. But when you're in that His will, His perfect will, wow. It it's not that it's easy. It's
No.
never easy, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I can't explain it. If you haven't experienced it yourself, it is very, very hard to explain, but it's amazing.
Yeah. I
Um,
think I think until we moved to Tennessee, I had never really said to myself, I'm going to let God handle this.
no, we like to be in control.
Yeah, because I'm like, I think I can do this, and then I mess it up, and then I'm like, just should have let God handle this.
But since we moved here, I had my idea of what our homestead should look like. We should be here's where I've been posting. If you've seen a lot, people think I've been depressed. I haven't been depressed. I get sad like everybody else. Life is stressful sometimes, and the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But I'm getting clarity. Years ago, it was right when COVID hit. God told me to be still. First time I've ever heard an audible voice. If you know me, you don't know, I don't know what that means. Hey, from Texas, how are you, honey? I don't know what it means to be still. If I have to be, I don't even know how to be bored.
We'll just call it the reveal.
And so I
Yeah.
didn't listen. And I was miserable. And everything that I put my little hands in didn't work out. And I couldn't figure it out. And a friend of mine who's a believer, she looked at me and she said, "Because you ain't listening to God. That's why it's not working out." And I'm like, ouch.
Hmm.
This is the thing about being still. So you have in your mind, it's like, okay, God, I'll give you 30 days. I'll be still for 30 days, but then I have to do something. Then I have to XYZ. It's been over 3 years.
Mm.
And in the meantime, I'm not sitting still. There's a big difference between being still and sitting still. There's that saying I like to say, was it, don't be praying for a hole if you're leaning on a shovel. You can't be doing that. you know? But there's that time,
God give me the strength.
yeah, that He's working in you, lining things up, putting on the hearts of other people. His timing's not your timing, and I'm still struggling with that.
Yeah, I love to just think about that. How you know God's timing, and if we just allow Him, you know, to do what He does best, and just sit back and
But we're impatient. We
yeah.
want our timing.
And when I say sit back, I'm not like just sit on the couch and just wait for
You
something
sit
to
there watching
happen.
TV.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, but during this time, and I'm getting to a point, trust me, y'all, I might go down 10,000 rabbit holes, but I'll put all my rabbits in one hole eventually.
that's one way to look at it, isn't it?
But yeah, we need to. That's what someone's just saying. I don't have my glasses on, so I just see little bits and pieces of the text. That says to seek Him, we need to seek Him first, and all these other things will follow.
Mm-hmm.
I was not doing that. We were not doing that. We're like, oh, we need to do the house first. We need to do the animals first. We need to do the garden first. We need to do this first.
Yeah.
All of it. And not that we weren't having faith, but we weren't seeking God first. And I mean first, like first part of your day, as soon as your eyes open, before you make coffee. Maybe not if you're older, not before you go to the restroom, because that's kind of important. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like first, seek him first.
Yeah.
And I especially, I can't speak for Timmy. I'm asking him all day long, God, do you want me to do this? I'm going to ask you about this because he wants us to ask him about all things, not just the big things, but the little. I ask him where to go out to eat because I
Yeah.
don't want to get food poisoning when I go out to eat.
So here's
Maybe I should be
I
praying
don't
for
know.
good
We'll
service
just
too, though.
call this like a parallel. When you're trying to sit down and read something, and you've got a lot of noise in the background, and you can't focus on the words and the message of what is trying to come out of it,
Right.
because it is the world trying to distract you and get to you
And drown him out.
and drown everything out, everything that God's trying to press on your heart. That's the world right there, just trying to get to you. And
I believe it.
I think and the only way we can really get past that
Wait,
is
they said they're buffering. Hang on just a second. On my end down in this hole. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. This Sherry. I'm sorry, go ahead. The only way to get past that is what? To be still and listen?
yeah, to be still and listen and
Quiet
focus.
yourself.
Yeah, it's
It can get
I've
easy.
struggled with that.
It can be easy to get
And then
distracted.
you get to the point where you're just like, well, I'm just going to figure this out on my own.
Don't worry.
It don't work.
That said, one of the things that I've struggled with a lot, and I know that this is what I've been called to. I wasn't raised this way, and I've said this before, but I got here as quick as I could. And I've always been called to want to do things from scratch my entire life. I mean, I did craft shows when I was 19, and I'm talking about when everybody else we had the big hair days in the 90s and 80s, and I'm sitting over here crocheting and making jams and jellies and not growing up that way or having anyone teach me. And my mom did have a garden, but my mom was busy. She was always working outside of the home. And it was just something that was in a part of my soul that was calling to this lifestyle my entire adult life. And I've never felt like I was in my own skin, if that makes any sense. And I remember years ago, I was doing a podcast about prepping and we had a coastal homestead. We lived on our property was 87 feet wide and 148 feet deep. I think it was tiny. But we raised goats, we had bees, we had chickens. Of course, we had to get rid of all of them because the county fought with us on it and we lost. But we raised our own herbs. I ran a farmer's market. We had a walk-in cooler with all this just amazing produce. And I remember being on the podcast with him, and I called our webpage back then was the Coastal Homestead. And we had tours, garden tours of our property. We're very eco-friendly. And, we had recycled glass for our driveway and walkway. People would come by just wanting to tour our place. Wasn't nothing high cotton. We had a trailer that we turned into a home and it was beautiful. It was our place, but it inspired people. And we were very thankful to share that. But I remember being on that podcast and him laughing when I called myself a homesteader and poo-pooed me kind of. And it really hurt because I said, well, I guess I'm not a homesteader because I wasn't raised this way and I don't live on acres and I don't have a cow out there and processing every season and so I didn't fit. And then when you talk about, well, I'm a prepper then. And you're always trying to fit into this Pinterest perfect description. And if you're not doing XYZ, you feel bad about it. For instance, I haven't had a big garden here really since we moved because we've been building. Life happens. I've had 2 summers I was recovering from knee surgery and couldn't get out there. And we've had construction going on. So if I'm not a gardener and I don't grow all of our own food, am I a homesteader? Am I, what am I a farm? I'm not a farmer. So what am I? And I've had this really, I'm a child of Christ, first of all. I won't forget that. I know some people replied to my email going, girl, you're a child of God. Yes, absolutely. But I'm talking about the business side of it, not my faith side of it. That's first and foremost. I'm a child of God. I'm a sister in Christ. I'm a wife to my husband, Tim. I'm a mother to my children. But I'm talking about the other side of this life. And I can't fit in anywhere. And so my blog, my work has had an identity crisis because I started doing an off-grid website, and then people were raking us off over the coals because we have internet and we have a cell phone and we use solar lights. Like we have solar electricity, and if we were really off grid, they wouldn't be on the internet. It's been crazy.
Yeah, my days of rubbing two sticks together are over trying to build a fire.
We use a lighter, and we use a lighter, and we use our little blue torch that we get. No, but we know how to do it the other way. So
yes, we have matches.
we can rub two sticks
Yes, we've
together.
advanced so far.
I make soap. I know how to do lye from ashes, but I buy lye because it's easier, and I only have so many hours in my day. My point is, society has given us these boxes. And if you remember growing up in high school, Timmy and I were talking about this last
Oh, you were
couple of
labeled,
weeks.
yeah.
You all have labels. Were you the prep? Were you the nerd? Were you the burnout? Were you one of the, jocks? Were you this? Were you that? You all had labels. And we literally had sections in our school where each group hung out, completely dividing us.
I remember those days.
And you had the group outside that was smoking cigarettes with the teachers back in the day. If you went to school with when that was a thing, I went to school where kids still drove with shotguns in the back of their truck. When we never had school shootings when that happened. Hey, how are you, honey? But we've been put in these boxes our whole lives. And even in adulthood, which you think that we wouldn't be in those anymore, and we are. And it's I'm done with the box. I'm done. I'm done with the labels. I'm done. And I just kind of had this epiphany, and we're talking because I kind of got mad. I got mad one day, and people were online about they were Pinterest perfect again. You see the homesteaders, they got the chicken and their hairs flowing in the wind. They got the little hay bale in the back, and the sun's hitting them just right. And I was always feeling less than seeing those because I can't do that. Or they've got all the lighting set up in their kitchen so they can do these videos, and I can't. Our kitchen is dark as Hades right now. I can't even see the corner where we make the coffee because it's so dark in here. Um, I just decided one day I'm done with a box. I'm done with a label. It's still going to be called My Homestead Life because this is my homestead life. It's not what your homestead looks like. It's what ours looks like. But I sent out an email about these thoughts. I started turning our email back into what blogs used to be, and it was more of you weren't even on the internet back when blogs started. I don't think I was either when they first started.
I wasn't,
but they were. We had a flip phone forever. We put our feet down about those new high tech phones. They're more of like a journal where people were just sharing their thoughts. They weren't always pushing sales. They weren't pushing the latest post that they had or the newest TikTok video or blah, 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 blah. They were just
never thought of that.
Thoughts, like journals. And then we followed these people because we liked their thoughts. We resonated with them. We connected with them. So I've been sharing one every other day for the last almost 2 weeks now. Now, mind you, I've been doing this for almost 2 decades. The most email replies I get are 3 or 4. And that's when I was announcing the book that we just released, it was our life story in fiction. And maybe 3 or 4 replies to an email at best. Y'all, with this whole out of the box, not fitting in the label inside the box email series, the life series that we've been talking about, I've had over 376 emails in the last week. And it's all I can do to schedule time in my day to reply to all these amazing emails. And there's people that are just like you, just like us, who want to learn, want to just forget all of that fluff and the Pinterest perfect, feeling less than. I mean, if you live in an apartment, you can do what we do. If you live in a, 50 acres, 300 acres, you can do what we do. We need to encourage people right where they're at together. We don't know it all.
No, we don't.
Well, you like to pretend you do
I
sometimes.
do, yeah. If you don't know what you're doing, at least look like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, fake it till you make it.
No, I'll tell you straight up. I've had so many failures that I am a pro at it.
Hey, if you're going to be good at something,
That way you can maybe save somebody else from making a big mistake.
that's kind of where we're at because no one taught us,
Yeah.
And when we moved here, I didn't even have YouTube. We couldn't connect to the internet to learn. So we can encourage each other in this community that we're building about life.
Mm-hmm.
That's our no label. It's just life because life happens. We don't. Everybody. When we had COVID, we said over and over again, be prepared, not scared. The Bible tells us 365 different times not to fear, not to be scared, not to worry. And because God knows what those things do to our mind.
Mm-hmm.
And COVID was a perfect example of what fear can do to people. Fear is a powerful tool the enemy uses. Do you know what's more powerful?
God.
Yes. But yes, absolutely. But hope. Hope's more powerful than fear. And I think if we can instill that in people instead of doing this fear mongering, the next virus is out there. Let's get the mask. Let's do this. Let's do that. Oh my gosh, the dollar's going to collapse. Oh my gosh, gas prices are raising so high. Oh my gosh, they're poisoning our food. Oh my gosh, da, da, da. Whatever the next fear porn is to control you, let's get rid of that.
Not saying they aren't doing all of that. But we shouldn't be really worried about it. We can't worry about that stuff.
If you're prepared, if you've planned,
Yeah.
that removes their power to scare you. And that helps you focus on God first in your life and helping others. And there's also the other thing. We have a prepper group meeting today. I love when we have life happen and we have everything that we need for it. Not always. We always see our weak links. This winter, we were trapped here for 11 days. We saw our weak links and said, okay, we needed more water. We needed more livestock food. We needed more XYZ. And we work on that. But I love it when something does happen that we have everything we need. And then I'm like, oh, we're good.
Yeah.
We're all right. We had it before. I can't remember what year it was. We were snowed in for Christmas, and so many thousands of people were stranded here. We didn't even know. We until we tried to leave our home and saw that power lines were down by the road.
Cars flipped upside down in creeks, and it's just
we didn't even know though because we didn't miss a beat up here because we had everything we needed and we weren't watching TV and we didn't have cable and so but we were prepared. And that removed the fear that would have instilled in us otherwise. And so, but when you hear the word prepper, you think zombies, doomsday, a CME, asteroid, or whatever. And we're just talking about life things. We prepare for life. And that's where, you hear that SHTF, the acronym, it hits the fan. And I said, I don't like that. I said, because I don't like to cuss. I've had those days, and I'm trying out of the words in thy mouth, not low. No, I don't. I'm going to muck up the scripture, but no icky stuff come out your mouth.
Mhm.
I try work on that daily. That's something that I've been working on a very long time. And I said, I don't want to say that I said the acronym in church before because I was talking about prep and there wasn't nothing else that I could associate it with. So they got it. And instead, I've been working on through the series, the email series with y'all and your feedback about life happens. And it's L, talk about learn. Hang on, I got to wear my glasses, y'all. L stands for learn, learn growing, cooking, fixing things, and skills that actually matter. I invest food, water, tools, supplies, things that give you breathing room when you do have life happens.
Yeah.
F,
Yeah. Fortify your home, your systems, your foundation.
and
And then E for expect, because life will happen and you'll be ready for it.
and because life happens, be prepared, not scared.
Yeah.
That's our new acronym.
Mhm.
Acronym instead of the SHTF, we're doing life, LIFE,
Life.
and we'll be working on those things together. And I was really happy to just kind of have that V8 moment. And we talked about it. We're not calling it necessarily homesteading, although most of the skills are associated with homesteading. We're not calling it off grid living or prepping. It's just part of the life series because we're going through this life together and we want to encourage each other and share the skills that we need
Yeah.
to educate each other. And we're not coming to this as experts. We're just coming to this as fellow community members, a part of a group of people that feel the same way
Hmm. Hmm.
and sharing and having community with one another.
A little example of that is when we lived at the beach and, all the hurricanes that we've been through, we had a big box in our house that had all of our supplies in it. And these were everything that we needed because the power was going to go out. We had everything that we needed,
A
basically.
hurricane box.
A hurricane box. So, when the time came, we were fine. I mean, we didn't have to run to the store and buy a bunch of stuff. Of course, you know, a lot of times you go to the store, everything's gone anyway. The shelves are wiped out,
Especially
and
bread, milk, and water.
yeah, but it's one of those things that we always prepared for because every September, during hurricane month, it was inevitable. Even if it didn't happen, we were always prepared. So
Well, and that's what they were saying. Even, God told Joseph to prepare the grains and store them for that famine that was going to come. And he helped make him a great ruler because of it,
yeah,
because he
he
prepared.
put away a lot. Yes.
And that's what I was saying in my one email. I said, God had Noah build an ark. And I read this story yesterday. Gosh, I can't remember where. I know I think I shared it with Morgan, but there was talking about, um, first of all, let me begin by saying there's so many people, believers. This is the part that kills me. Well, God's just going to take care of it. I've just got to have faith in Him.
Hmm. I think that's the wrong attitude to have.
It is the wrong attitude because that gives their excuse, in my opinion, y'all. You can come out with me with pitchforks if you want to. I'm not going to change my opinion.
Just sit on the couch and do
And
nothing.
do nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. If a lazy man that don't want to work, don't let him eat. So I said, and I tell them, I said, even, Joseph prepared
Hmm.
for the famine. Noah prepared for the flood. And the one I read yesterday, this is God telling him to prepare.
Yeah.
Because y'all, this isn't where this is life is tough.
Yeah.
And we've got battles out there. But this is the one of the stories they're talking about. Why? Because they come at me, well, you just don't have faith. Are you kidding me? I didn't come here not on faith. We left everything behind and came to this area not knowing a soul on faith, knowing that God will provide. We didn't have these answers, and
Yeah.
He
We didn't.
did.
We didn't know we were going to be able to live in that cabin
We
if
didn't even know that there was
if
going to
it
be a
was
cabin on
livable.
the property
Yeah.
when we first come here. Um, but they were talking about why did David have 5 stones to fight Goliath and not just one? If he had faith, why did he take 5? And it made you ponder for a moment. Well, if he had faith in God, he would have just took one stone. No, he knew the assignment. David knew the assignment and knew it was going to be tough. which is why he took 5. Because he wanted to be prepared for
Yeah.
what God called him to do.
Yeah.
He knew he wasn't going to do it alone. He knew he was going to be able to do it, but he knew the assignment was going to be tough, so he prepared accordingly. And there was more to that story. I loved it because
Yeah.
it just hit home with what we're doing, and not only that, it's just as fellow community members. Let's just not forget that we're believers, but fellow community members. I think the selfish person only wants enough for themselves, only wants enough food for just themselves and their family, only wants enough money just for their needs, only wants enough enter XYZ just for them.
Mm-hmm.
But the giving person, the good neighbor, the loving person doesn't just want enough for them, but wants enough to bless others with,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And that's where your preps can come into play too. Say you don't need them, right? Say you're doing good, but your neighbor's wife gets sick, or your neighbor loses their job, or your neighbor, or whatever inner life situation for them. And you go over to them with a box of dinner, you know, toilet paper, shampoo, extra razors, meals planned, canned goods to help get them through that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where we're making the difference. That's where this kind of lifestyle is having its ripple effect.
Yeah, it does.
And
I mean,
that's what I think we're called
we've
to
been on the
do.
receiving end of that too, because
Wow,
I mean,
have we?
it's powerful to be on the receiving end to see that work.
That provision.
People, God presses on people's heart to reach out and help somebody else. That's a wonderful thing.
And two, when you're on the receiving end, knowing that somebody, something, some force is making sure that you're taken care
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
it is so humbling. And
Yeah.
it is so like, oh my gosh, you cared about me.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody cared about me. That says a lot. That's a huge message. And
Yeah.
it's powerful. And that's what brings our community together. And I think that's kind of where we're all going with all of this. It's not about what's trending in the blog post, what's trending out there right now. Oh, I can make fermented XYZ and I can do this and it's going to be viral and it's going to be this. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I still have to do this for a living. Like I still have to write for a living. I'm still going to be producing
Mm.
content, hoping people will find my page. But at the core of it, it's us, it's our group, it's our life that we're going to be sharing in a real, transparent level that is unscripted, unfiltered. God bless us. And hopefully God led because I want it to be his voice through me, not me in my head, which will happen. So just know
Mm-hmm.
that because I'm human.
Good deal.
Yeah, are we good?
Yeah.
Are y'all good? I can't see all of I've
Uh,
seen so many comments, and I'm gonna get to them as soon as we end this because I think we're past our time.
yeah. I just want to say thanks for
Wait.
reaching out and joining us. And
If it wasn't for all your email replies, we probably wouldn't have even thought about doing this again because YouTube blocked us for I don't know how long. We would do the recording, we go live,
it
no
wouldn't
one
be
would comment, it would be gone, then it would buffer, then the link went gone, and it's not that it is a waste of our time. It's never a waste of our time to meet with other people, but we weren't meeting with y'all. It was gone. So I'm like, why are we even fighting this? YouTube clearly doesn't want us. But that's okay because we were in a season of our lives where we needed to be elsewhere on Saturday mornings, evidently. Otherwise, and I guess we could have fought it a lot longer, but we didn't. So we're glad to be back. And I'm excited. Oh, at the end, we normally talk about our week coming up. That's what we used to do. Y'all got a hair that's drive me batty. Hang on. Ouch. I probably shouldn't pull too many of those. Um, and we talk about our plans about what we're doing. We have a prepper meeting today we're excited about. We're actually
yeah,
going to learn about tracking, something I know nothing about. Do you know anything about tracking?
like following a blood trail.
I don't. Oh well, whose blood are we following?
Little
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 track, little hints.
little pieces of limbs that get broken, and
Yeah, sniffing the soil, figuring
oh
out what it
yeah,
was. Looking at scat, figuring out what
yeah,
poop there. Um,
it'll be interesting.
it's interesting because let me tell you, we had. I don't know, y'all don't know this, but we had this precious little rooster called Curtis, and he was ostracized by his community, and then he got blind in one eye from a fight, and he was our porch rooster, and he would be on our handrail all the time, every night. And during the winter time, we bring him inside in his dog crate. And anytime it got too rainy, too cold,
He would kennel up in the
on
little,
his own,
yeah,
on his
in the
own,
little
we'd leave
crate.
the dog crate on the porch, and
He would kennel up in it, and we'd bring him inside and
he knew
put him
that
by the fire.
we would give him safety. And a fox got him. And I cried like a baby. I
Yeah,
cried several days later. I cried
yeah,
yesterday morning
it's
about it.
sad.
But a fox got him. That stupid fox.
Yeah,
And um we didn't know how to track him. I mean, we didn't know how to follow the fox. We don't know. I mean, we can try, but I'm really looking forward this valuable information that they're going to share with us, hoping to to I have vengeance. Hoping to get a foxtail for my car in the future. So we're looking forward to that. And oh wait, what are you doing with what are your plans if it's not gonna rain this week?
oh well, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna
I'm
try to get
pointing
our
to our
solar
solar.
moved. I built a frame for it, what, 8 years ago. It's been in the front yard, and I would like to get it moved up on the roof of the front porch.
Up on
So
the
hopefully,
roof. No, I can't
yeah,
sing.
we'll have all of that yard space now. We can.
Well, we don't have a yard. There's a hill. We're gonna
Well,
put yard in there.
no, there's a little bit of yard.
But our solar, this was supposed to be temporary, y'all. It was always intended to go on the porch,
On the
but we
roof.
didn't have the porch roof built for
Yep.
years.
Yep.
And now it's to the point that the actual frame is falling apart. It's
Yep.
a
Yep.
and Timmy has been called elsewhere every single day. And that's why our stuff just keeps getting pushed
Yeah.
back and back. But now,
We're getting
praise
close.
God,
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It was supposed to happen this week. And then we saw the weather and it's supposed to rain every day this week. So we do have rain day contingency plans, but our plans are for hopefully,
Mhm.
Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, literally, to get the solar on the roof. And so we can have a yard. And then Amber can finally have a garden.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
All right.
Share with me what you got going on. If you got something exciting, we want this one as a community. We're having coffee, but we're chatting with y'all.
Yeah.
So we want to know what's going on in your life. It's always interesting to see where everybody's at in their walk of where life happens.
Yeah. Maybe we can tell you what not to do. You never know.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you used to have a little sign off thingy. Do y'all
Uh,
remember it? I can't remember it now. You just said something silly.
I'm sure it was something silly.
We don't have to. I mean, it's not scripted. Okay, but it was always cute at the end of the day. Need to run. Time thanks. Oh, we got to, honey. I'm sorry. Y'all have a blessed day.
Thanks for
Thank you for
joining us.
joining us. We'll see you next Saturday.
Bye.
Bye.